Hey guys, so today we are going to think way back to when we were in school and we talked about goods and services. So if you think way back, we talked about things you can buy and sell. We talked about spending money and how to make a budget. And do you remember we had those big poster boards and we were all making our own stores and we were about to start making the things we would sell at school? Well, unfortunately, we're not going to get to finish that, but we are going to be thinking about that same project today when we talk about goods and services. So remember that we talked about how a good is a thing. It's a thing you buy, a thing you can hold in your hands, or maybe it might be too big to hold in your hands, but you can touch it, right? It's something that you might want or maybe even need. Like food is something that we buy, it's something that we can hold, but it's also something that we need, right? And then a good can also be something that we buy that we just want, right? Like, how about an Xbox? An Xbox is certainly not something we need to survive, but it's a good. It's something we can go to the store and buy. We can hold it in our hands and we can take it home and use it. A service is different. A service could also be something we want or need, like a service of what a doctor does to help you. So if you're sick, you would go to the doctor and the doctor would help you get better. And that's a service. The doctor is doing something for you and the doctor gets paid for that service. So that doctor's job is to do something for you that you need to help you with something. But it's not something you can hold or take home with you, right? You don't go to the doctor and get better and then hold something in your hands like you do if you go and buy an Xbox. So services are different than goods. A service could also be something that you want, right? You might want to go to the nail salon and get your nails done. Now, that's certainly not something that you need, but the person who paints your nails is still doing a service for you. They are doing something for you, and then you are paying them for it. So that is the difference between goods and services. So if you look at my screen right now, I have a page to sort these goods and services. We have 3 over here, and then we have 3 over this side of the screen. So the first one is a basketball. So a basketball, what do you think? Is a basketball a good, something that you can go buy and take home? Or is it a service, something that someone else does for you? I want you to say it out loud. Do you think it's a good or a service? So a basketball is a good. It's something you can go buy, you can hold it in your hands, and you can take it home with you. It's not something you need. It's definitely a want, but it is also a good. What about someone who walks your dog for you? What if you go on vacation and your dog needs to be walked? Is that a good or is that a service? So that one would be a service, right? Excuse me. You would pay someone to walk your dog, but you don't get something to hold in your hand or take home with you. It is something that that other person does for you. How about books? If you go to the store and buy books, goods or services? Books are goods, right? Something you can take home with you and hold in your hand. Now I want you to look over here. There are 3 more items. There is an iPhone, someone who shovels your snow for you, and someone who babysits for you. One of those is a good. It's something you can take home with you. Which one is it? An iPhone, someone shoveling your snow for you, or someone babysitting for you? It would be an iPhone. Is that what you said? If you did, you are absolutely right. An iPhone is something that you go and you buy at a store, you take it home with you. And so that means shoveling snow is a service. It is something that someone does for you and you might pay them for it. And then babysitting is the same thing. If your parents or go out during the day or at night and they need someone to stay home and watch you and make sure you're safe, that person is a babysitter and they would pay that babysitter for watching you. So that babysitter does a service for your family. So there is the difference between goods and services. So I want you guys to remember that. Now, your assignment today is a book on Epic about goods and services. And then it is to write down What is the main idea of the book and what are some details? So let's think about a main idea. We talked about this in school too. It's simple, so we don't need to think about it being complicated or hard. A main idea is when I say to you, what was your book mostly about? And you tell me just one sentence, right? So if you read a book about airplanes flying in the sky, you would say, the main idea of my book is airplanes flying in the sky. That's what the book is mostly about. And then there are details in our book, supporting details. So if we think about a table, it would be like the top of the table, the big important part where you put your food is the main idea. It's what the book is mostly about or what the table is mostly about. And then there are little details to support your main idea, like the legs on a table. So the legs on a table support your tabletop. They support your main idea. And those would just be little details in the book. They would be important details, but they would be details. So if you read a book about flying an airplane, then some of the details in the book might be that airplanes need gasoline to fly in the sky. That's an important detail. Some of the other details might be that there are many different types of airplanes. That's a detail in the book. Another detail might be that airplanes take off and land. Those are details, right? Little parts of the book. So today you're going to listen to a book on Epic about goods and services, what we just talked about. So what is your book going to be mostly about? I just gave you a big hint. I said you're reading a book about goods and services, right? So what do you think your book's mostly about? It's not a trick question. I bet you knew the answer. I'm not going to give it away because I think you know it. But that's all you need to write for the main idea. It's what the book is mostly about. And then the details of the book will just be some other things that you learn in the book about goods and services. It can be any of the details that you think are important. That's it. Okay, guys, so on this next page, your main idea, in this top green box, you will type what your book is mostly about. And then in the bottom green box, you will type 3 details in your book. Okay, it's as simple as that. If you don't want to do it in Google Slides and you want to do it on a piece of paper instead, totally fine. Do it on your paper, take a picture and send it to me. And that's it. All right, let me know if you have any questions, okay? And I can help. Good luck, guys.